Robert. Robert, y'all like? Spiritual warfare. All right, real quick question. Where do y'all think the phrase spiritual warfare, where y'all think that came from? Spiritual warfare, where you think that phrase came from? Who know? Where y'all think that came from? Well, you see a lot of people, especially now in the spiritual community, conscious community, where you think that came from? The Bible? Where in the Bible? Okay, we got Bible. Where in the Bible did spiritual warfare come from? Ephesians 6:12? Okay, let's look it up. Ephesians 6:12. Okay, E6:12. Let's see. We got Ephesians in here. We'll check that out. I'm trying to pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Yep, Colossians, Ephesians. Okay, let's see. Book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. Let's try it. Says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against rulers, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay? You say Daniel 10? What was Daniel 10? How was that Daniel 10 for the spiritual warfare part? I know Daniel 10, he was going through his mourning and sadness, and he was in prayer, and he was figuring out how he was going to go about moving forward. He went without eating and things like that for like 21 days. Why is that Daniel 10? Why you say that? Either way, I don't know if people know that when they're going around saying that they're engaged in spiritual warfare, I don't know if they understand that they're getting it from the Bible. That's another thing that I think that is important for people to know, that if you don't know why you're saying a thing, how can you understand what it is that you're saying? If you don't know where what you're saying is coming from, how can you even have a foundational understanding of what it is that you're talking about? Because if you're not careful, you just go around repeating things and you won't know what those things mean. And therein, again, tells the truth. The issue what they're upset with me about, especially lately, is that people need to know what they're saying when they're using words, when they're saying phrases like I'm engaged in spiritual warfare. What does that mean? Are you saying that you are versus wizards or witches? Are you dealing with them? Right? Are you dealing with demons? Okay. Some people say demons. Are you dealing with them? Are you dealing with vampires? There's another group of beings that people talk. Are you dealing with them? Or witches, warlocks, vampires, demons, demons, whatever you want to call them. Or do you know where the attacks are coming from? Or do you even understand what the spiritual warfare aspect would be as far as you experiencing it, not just talking about it exists? What's the point there? The point there is that they were saying we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Okay, what does that mean? And what did they mean when they were talking about evil that exists in high places or heavenly realms? Okay, there are multiple ways to interpret it. One of the ways that people interpret it is to say that the governments are being spoken about because those governments are in what's referred to as high places. If I were to draw out a graph, okay, you see the high places are these people up here. Okay, and then the lower places or the lower realms is everybody down here. All right, so this doesn't mean evil per se, because how could that mean evil if you have God also in heaven, our Father which art in heaven? Okay, We also understand, at least for those of you who read the book, the Bible, where a lot of people get their concepts and content and all this stuff from, they just reshape it, that there was a story about a being or a man called Ayub, and Ayub was being tested and persecuted, all right? And in order for that persecution or that testing to occur, they had to have taken place a conversation. That conversation was between none other than the ones that they call God and the ones they call Satan or Shaitan, all right? Which these are interchangeable linguistically. People may not understand that. Linguistically, these are interchangeable. This doesn't mean good. This doesn't mean bad. This means an opposition. So what you would think would be bad would be based on your own perspective. That's subjective right here. This would mean also somebody that is in position to rule, all right, or have power, which this is another being. They'll show you that in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. You go look that up, where they said that the God of this world is Satan. So you see that these words are used interchangeably. And a lot of people do fall down on their knees and worship Satan. With that point, he becomes their God. And whoever the God of the Bible is supposed to be the main character, or the main being of the Bible, the main person, or whatever they want to call him, spirit, divine being, says, don't have any other gods before me, acknowledging that other gods do exist. They're just telling you don't worship Baal. They're just telling you don't worship Satan. They're just telling you don't worship Beelzebub. They're telling you don't worship Behemoth, don't worship Leviathan, or whatever gods or beings that people will look at as gods. Still so, all of those words are interchangeable depending on where you're standing. You understand that? So, God and Satan, I'm not saying they're the same characters. I'm just saying it's like saying the Indians versus the Chiefs. They're not the same characters. They're opposing. But if you're on the Indian side, then the Chiefs are the ops. If you're on the Chiefs side, then the Indians are the ops. Okay, that's why they say Revelation chapter 12, okay, where they said Michael and his angels fought and Satan and his angels fought. They didn't say Michael and his angels and Satan and his demons. So the question is, does Michael have demons? You understand that? Does Satan have angels? So once you learn what words are, you'll stop thinking that when somebody says demon, it automatically means evil. And you'll stop thinking when somebody says angel, it automatically means good. Same with God and Satan. Okay, because somebody who's a Satan to Satan is not evil if Satan is doing the evil things. So if that word shaitan means an adversary or an accuser or an opposition, then that means it could be anybody on either of the opposing teams. So you have, in this reality, you have teams that work with the left hand, and you have teams that work with the right hand. You understand that? You have teams that are working for disorder. You got teams that are working for that order. Does that make sense? Some of y'all may not understood what I just did there. Because you have disorder, and you got that order. And that order may appear orderly, but it's actually disorderly. And the other order may appear disorderly, but it's actually orderly. Let me show you what happens. Phase one shows up, and he disrupts, okay, goes against the rupturing of what's happening with the core rupturing, when people's cores are rupturing, and they call me the disruptor, or they'll call me the agent, or they'll call me whatever they want to call me, but they don't understand what words are and what power comes with the words. They're telling the truth. They're just showing you that they're standing on the opposing side. You understand? So then to them, I would be Satan. I'm their opposer. You understand that? To them, I would be the disruptor. I'm not allowing for the disorder or that order that they think is orderly to continue. So we're bringing that order to order. So anytime people see this phrase here, new world order, guess what happens? People automatically envision some pyramid with an eye on top. All right? Or eye in the middle, for those of y'all who understand that science, because the eye in the middle. People automatically see that, and they think that this must be bad. Okay, but if the old world is already out of order, then something called a new world order is not bad. If things are chaotic and things are brought to peace through what's referred to as a new world order, that's not a bad thing. But the only ones who would see that as a bad thing would be, one, the people who don't know what it is, and for two, the people who don't stand to benefit from it. You with me? So new world order was never bad. As soon as Jesus entered into the world, he was bringing on a new world order, that particular world. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. What, to sit there and do nothing? No, to bring that world to order. So they had to bring in someone who knew what that world was to bring it into order. New world order. And that new world order was to bring things back to new. And new was what? The primordial, or they call it primordial, or the primordial, prime order, right there. Prime order, the primary order, water. Primordial waters, new. I will make all things new. So when you see people say, they quote the Bible, say, God said he's going to make all things new. Okay, a new world order isn't a bad thing. Then we're talking about a new dominion. Okay, anno domini is what they say, the year of our Lord. You see it right there in the word, a new dominion. And in this new dominion, okay, will be established peace or salam or nirvana, what all these other religions have been talking about. But before that takes place, what has to happen? War. You understand that? Before you can reach that peace, something has to be disrupted. Before you can lay a new foundation, the old one has to be ripped up. So a lot of people aren't going to like that when it's happening. But you need to know when it's happening so that you will know whether or not you're standing left or right. Are you a vampire? Are you yourself one? You understand? What does that mean? If I say the word vam, okay, look at this word vam. If I say it in Sanskrit, vam or vama, I'm saying the word left. Go look it up. Go look it up. Left. And if I say this word pyre, okay, or pir, or piro, okay, or pira, what am I saying? Fire. All right? So what's this key word here? Fire. And you know that someone is standing on the left, okay, or lesser, left-hand path is lesser path. Okay, if I say Vamakara in Sanskrit, I'm saying literally left-hand path. So you can literally go look at what I just said. So you say Vama, Paya, vampire, left. Okay, or left fire. So if it's the left fire, it's not the true light. Okay, the true light was acknowledged as the Ra or right fire. You see it right there? The right fire is the sun. So you have the left fire is the moon. All right, then you have the right fire, which is the sun. You with me? I think in Arabic they would have said Yamin or Yamun, and this would have been Yasser or Yassar. Okay? So you have left and right paths. Why are they saying paths? Okay, because it's directions, places that you can travel. Okay? Also, you have to know which degree to look at it from, because this is the true degree. All right? This is how you actually look at it. So what appears to be left is actually descension. Okay? What appears to be right is actually ascension. And that's the capstone of the pyramid that actually glows. This doesn't glow. This is the night or the bed, okay, or the bottom. All right? The bed or the bottom, bet, bottom, B-D, ebed, which is in Hebrew, it means the servant or the slave. That's where all the slaves exist at, in the bed or in the sleep. All right? Those are the ones who have been lulled by the demons, lullaby. And remember I taught you what lulla was, or Lilith, okay, or Delilah, the one who was lully, love, lulla, lil. What is lull? Lull, lil means night. So you're of the night. So when somebody sends you a lullaby or love, it's saying lil, or someone who's literally sending you to sleep, to belong to the nighttime. And then you had Ra, okay, or Samson, which I told y'all Samson was literally saying Shemesh, okay, Shemesh, which meant what? The sun, all right, or the power of the sun. So you have Shem, Sha, Shemesh, Shem, Bala, all these different words, you'll see power of the sun, okay? Ra, or then you have Lala, Lilith, Lily, Layla, night, okay? So people had to rise up out of the night into the sun. So do vampires thrive in the nighttime or in the sunlight? Exactly. So you understand who those people are. It can't say I'm just running my mouth. These beings only exist in the left. All right. The light fire or the left fire, which is the moon. They can't come out in the sun cycle. You understand that? So then how can they be rulers? Listen, how can vampire beings, right? How can they be, or upir, all right? How can these beings, we know upir means spirit, right? How can these beings be rulers in a world of sun? They can't be. They have to pull you into the night so that they can rule you there. So a lot of y'all were actually on your way. You were ascending. You were figuring out. Somebody said, what? Oh, people were waking up. Dr. Malachi York told me this, literally sent the audio for me and said, our people are waking up fast, but they're walking around in circles. They don't know where to go. So there's a direction problem that people are having. They don't understand it. Some of y'all are starting to descend back into sleep or your slumber. All right. You even thought that you could cheat the game by saying, I'm just going to enter stand. Well, you can't see now. If you stand inside of the pyramid, you still can't see what's happening. And you don't know that this is a height situation. And you have to be Fahrenheit. That's talking about the degrees that you earn as you get closer to the sun. Fahrenheit. You understand that? Only the ones who excel see this. Excel see this. Listen, it's there. It's in the words. Okay? So you have to be Fahrenheit. You have to be tall enough. So imagine this is the pyramid. If you don't overstand, you won't be able to have the overstander's point of view. If you're understanding, you still won't have the overseer's point of view. You only be able to see with an angle of elevation. If you're standing your ass inside the pyramid, you set yourself for a higher mess because now you don't know what's going on. You can't see the under part. You can't see that's the problem. That's the problem. So now when I come showing you the logos, all right, or the signs, the logos, the words, you're not able to see it. And you think that me overstanding that in the beginning was the word is a problem. In the beginning was the word. So if anybody come and telling you words and they don't know what they mean, they're just saying them running their mouth and you're not able to check them, okay, and you're just accepting what they're saying, you don't know what they're building your reality on. What is the foundation if you don't know the foundation? One more time. What is the foundation if you don't know the foundation? In the beginning was the word. That's right there in the middle of the te-hu-ti word. Te-hu-ti. Te-teo. Or teho. Or theos. God. Right there. Hu. Utterance. Literally. Hu means utterance. All right. Or spoken word. T means life. In the beginning was the word. And the word was what? Was with God. And God was the word. And the word became one. Look. Te-hu-ti. All of that's wisdom. God is there. Word is there. And life. The yielding is there. So you have to go back to go forward to get the understanding. So you can stand over and say, oh, now I see the pyramid was a box with an X in it. But I would not have been able to see that if I was understanding or understanding. This is what it is. I don't know what they're doing because you have to be able to see the fire in the center. To be able to see the fire in the center, you have a better navigational system. All right. Remember, I taught y'all what navigate means. Remember, navigate. Navigate means to navigate. All right. Gate means to walk. Navi or navy is the water. Remember, Jesus was able to walk on water. And he functioned as what you call an ascended master. And the one who wasn't able to, he was too dense. His name was Peter. Even though he was walking at one point. All right, you got to peep it. But then he lost what they call faith, which is that spirit that allows for you to thrive. Okay. Peter means stone. And that's what happens when you drop a stone in water, it descends. You understand that? So a lot of people are hardening when they should be speeding up. I told you this is an Eve operation, right? This is an Eve operation. This is an operation of life, not dead. So all the people talking about the dead, you see they're not a part of the Eve operation. I told you Eve means life, Hawa, okay, or higher. Life. All right? Eve operation. When you say that together, it's evaporation. You have to become more like the gases, Jesus. You have to ascend. Okay? That means you become more fair in height. You get more degrees. You see how it all, when we talk this way, it has to make sense. A lot of people, you just think they just throw a lot of words around and play connect the dot, but they're not connecting the dots. They're not making it make sense. It has to make sense. So if Ephesians 6:12 is telling us we're not dealing with just flesh and blood, we're dealing with beings that have transcended the flesh and blood plane, we may be talking about otherworldly beings, other types of life forms that are not human. So don't go gas first. Deal with the flesh and blood part. Flesh and blood is what human beings have. That's what we know it to be. But then there may be different life forms that function in different ways, got different biological forms, all right, or makeups, different physiology, which would not be flesh and blood. But that doesn't mean they're not able to interact with the physical plane, because there would be no war if these beings weren't able to interact with the physical plane. That would directly take out, okay, or contradict what is being said in Ephesians 6:12 or the whole equation. So, all right, again, there was someone called Ayub or Job, and this being called the devil was able to travel up to God, and they made a bet over Ayub or Job's life. Okay, they said, yo, where have you been at? First of all, how he get up in heaven? That answers the question of these beings having vehicles that allow them to reach certain stages, at least in heaven. And whatever stage the devil was able to reach in that story, he was able to reach the stage that God was at. Whatever level or dimension in heaven or constellation or kingdom in heaven, or maybe a mother plane that's hovering above your planet. I don't know. Wherever it is, whatever it was, this devil was able to go and be in a council of other angels and talk to God about Job's life. You understand that? And they made a bet. So what do you say? Yo, Satan, where you been at? I've been walking up and down the earth and to and fro. Okay? Walking up and down the earth and to and fro. You know, he got his degrees. So, okay, have you considered my servant, the one who's up under me, my Ebed? My servant sits up under my pyramid, my foundation. You consider him? Okay. Oh, no, I ain't consider him. I bet you he'll break. He won't break. And then they test his life. Oh, he only holding on because you ain't, touched him. You give him leprosy, took his family, all kind of stuff. But all of that was happening from what? People who were able to press buttons and make shit happen. Do y'all get what I'm explaining to you? So ultimately, the warfare that y'all are talking about is the main game. It's the main game. And if you're not a part of that warfare, you ain't even playing. The moment that they consider you as worthy of deciding or determining whether or not you're going to be able to get to the next degree or the next level, or gain more degrees, or speed up more, or become of the higher ones, all right? Before they walk you through tests. And a lot of these tests are what is allowed to happen in your reality. So how? Ask these people, ask your pastors, ask the preachers, Christians, whoever, Hebrew Israelites, how did God give Job leprosy? How do you give Job leprosy? How did God kill Job's family? How? You understand? Now, you heard about the Sabaeans in that story. The Sabaeans had a hand in that, about taking away his, I think it was the cattle and all kind of stuff, killing it, came through with the swords and all of that. But who put these people in position? That's why I told you to watch that movie again, one of them. So you got to go find out which one. But the Hunger Games movie, where they were able to program them beasts, all right, up under that dome. And the beasts were made out of just numbers, but the beasts became flesh. Listen, and they were able to impact what's referred to as the physical realm. So again, what is spiritual warfare? Are people really aware of what it is that they're talking about? And if we got vampires, all right, or demonic incarnates, whatever you want to call them, running around on this planet, all right, and you got the sun or the true light coming out here, don't you think that irritates them? Don't you think that? If you have the true light coming out, don't you see them in the movies, Blade and all of them, which is the sword, interestingly enough, all right? Because you got Blade, which phase what? Well, what does phase mean or phase all mean? Phase all means a sword or a resolute, like the blade. So you got Blade that comes out, and he's the one they call a daywalker. He exists within the sun or around the sun. But the other ones are night walkers or night crawlers. They don't. You understand that? So when the true light, which is that sun, comes out, don't you think these demons, vampires, the rest of them get irritated? Or what? Spirits, these left spirits. Vam upir. Vam upir. Go look at what I say so you don't just think of it. Or ubir or upir. Vam upir. Left spirits. Spirits that have been left for one, but the directional left spirits. Those who walk with the moon or Lilith. These lesser light beings. They get irritated. They can't exist in that climate. So their thing is to attempt to remove this. Why? Because here's the main thing. If people are starting to gravitate toward that, that's a problem for them over here. Because now you're leaving their world and they're losing their ability to suck. You understand? They're losing their ability to drain you of your life, which is your blood. You see what I'm saying? So it takes it to a whole different degree. And a lot of these people look at their people, their followers, all of them, as spiritual currency, where you get this energetic harvesting that takes place. And people are forgetting, you open up this screen and you tap on to somebody, they literally call it a stream. If it's a stream, is the energy coming out of the phone to you, or is yours going into the phone to whoever's benefiting? I hope you understand it. Because they're not neutralizers. They're not transmuters. They're not going to say, we're going to meet here in the center. No, they're there to take. That's called a suck you by. Suck you dry. Suck you by. Ink you by. You see? And they come and take. And then you try to figure out what you walked away with. And then the true light shows up and say, I will see if you've been only siphoned from, because I'm going to ask you about what you've been given. And if you can show me what you've been given, you haven't been taken from. But if what you show me is empty, an empty box, there's nothing in it, you've been taken from. You understand that? So they get mad at me. I say, tell me about this. I am spiritual. Okay, you're spiritual. All right. Explain. What does that mean? Spirit means what? Spirit means breath. Okay, spirit means breath. So that means you're breathing? Yeah. What else? That's it. Okay, so you're doing, okay, I get what you're doing. You're doing spiritus or you're doing spirare. Okay, which both of them are dealing with breath. So I don't understand what this is. It's not exclusive. This just means you're breathing. Somebody tricked you then. And you don't know that that word has been left behind? All right. Y'all remember everybody talk about the phasing, right? Phase. Remember everybody talking about the phasing of the two planets? Remember them videos everybody was putting out? Said the old planet was being left behind and a new planet was forming. And that some people were being left in this old reality. And other people were graduating toward the new one. Okay. You cannot still be stuck on words like spirit. If you saying and seeing that it means breath, then everybody that's living is spiritual. The end. The end. When you put that spiritual, you're saying you have the state of spirit. You have the state of breath. So you're breathing. You're alive. Okay. Then you're no different than a Christian. You're no different than a murderer. You're no different than anybody that is existing and living. You understand? At that time, then this shouldn't be a thing, but it's still a thing because people are here. Then I understand that this word here has ascended its old form and descended, or ascended its new form, descended its old form. You can't use it the same. So saying spiritual doesn't mean what it used to mean 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Same thing with this word right here. Things are speeding up. You want to know why things are speeding up? The main, variable that I taught y'all about years ago, consciousness. You understand? If only one person, I'm not saying it's me, I'm just saying if only one person ascends in consciousness on any of these degrees, then eventually whatever this was, the realm is going to say one is enough. I am one with all is one with me. One is enough. Then everything else of the old is going to start fading away. And this becomes a reality, especially when that one goes up the ladder and becomes a part of that higher degree. You understand that? Where that they call it a platform. You'll be able to speak from the mountaintop with that inner calm. You with me? Or outer calm. And people are able to get the information. And then this fades away. They say reptilian. They try to use it against you. These are old words. So phase one is reptilian. And then I was able to show them they don't even know what that word means. You're using an old word. I remember that. I was like 4 or 5 years old when we used to use words like that. You haven't grown up? It's damn near 23 years ago. You have to grow up. Reptilian just means reptile-like. And it should be clear, human beings are like reptiles in multiple ways, which means you're not exclusively reptilian. However, you have reptilian characteristics, literally. Reptilian traits, literally. You understand? Things that are similar to reptile. Okay, so reptilian is old. Reptilian is also an excuse to not know who it is you're talking about. You say, that's a reptilian. Which race? And then you have another problem because you say race, you're talking about species. You understand? So if you say species, is it identifiable just by the English language, or is this what they call themselves? So notice that most of the species, or the species that they speak about, when it comes to these extraterrestrial beings, they're based off locations that they think they came from, or based off of an observation. So they say, oh, I saw some grays. I saw some grays. What do you mean there's some grays? They were gray. Oh, then what is it that they actually are, though? Other than gray. And are grays reptilian? Or grays amphibian? Because you see grays with webs in between their fingers, they have amphibian characteristics, so they're amphibian. Right? So then why did they say phase one is only a reptilian? They should have said phase one is a reptilian. He's an amphibian. You understand? He's a mammalian. I'm like reptile. I'm like amphibian. I'm like, what do you call it? Mammal. I'm like a lot of things. I'm tetrapod. But they stop at reptilian. That shows you they're limited in it. You see, I'm telling you what I used to tell y'all. All that old stuff is too slow now. It's too slow. It's moving too slow. And word doesn't come back to God void. You understand that? Meaning, once you've ascended, you speak an utterance, it ain't going to come back void. It stands up. So you understand where you're going. You with me? So, again, when we're dealing with spiritual warfare, we have to say what people... Warfare, people that are breathing or beings that are breathing. Then that's okay. Then that could be anybody, can it? Okay. So if this warfare could be any human being, you could be versus any human being at any given. Here goes a human being at any given time. Any human being that's breathing in and out. Okay. Any human being, then that means any daemon, spirit can incarnate into that human being and use whoever's susceptible up under the frequencies to be able to accept whatever that frequency is, whether it's a message, a suggestion, or an actual incarnation. Okay. Incarnation ain't just saying anything, but literally something getting into the car or the carnal or the body, the flesh, inside of the flesh. Okay. So then you're looking for, tomorrow war. You don't want the tomorrow war. People say we dealing with spiritual warfare. Tomorrow war is an extraterrestrial invasion that you can't do nothing about. Okay? And you ain't gonna have no technology like a time machine to go back. Like the movies. This ain't Hollywood. You understand that? So if you're dealing with spiritual warfare, don't that mean you need to watch who you breathing around? Or if you're dealing with spiritual warfare, doesn't that mean you need to watch who what? Breathes around or on you? Does anybody know what I'm getting at? Because didn't Jesus pop up in the upper room and talk to the disciples and tell them what was going on and show them how they were going to move forward? And they said he what? He breathed on them or imparted the spirit information onto them, which was their endowment to go out and push whatever the gospel was or the good news. You understand that? So you need to be watching who the fuck breathing on you. And breath has vibration. So you need to be watching who the fuck you what? Tuning into. All right. People say, I channel. Oh, do you? So you need to watch people who say they channel, because when you come and you log on or you tune in to their channel, all right, or their frequencies, then you are possibly susceptible to programming. You with me? Now, everybody is programmed to whatever degree they're programmed to. Programming helps you do a lot of things. It helps you put out information out. It's an output, input. You understand? There's a lot that goes into programming. So programming doesn't mean that it's a negative thing. Everybody's programmed. That's why you're able to understand what I'm saying. You're programmed with English. When you watch the movie Matrix, they had to sit him down or lay him down and upload him with programs. You understand? So he can know what Kung Fu is now. Now I know Kung Fu. That's a program. It's a part of the information that you have for you to be able to, through your own retention, access to employ or apply in any way. You understand that? So again, watch who's breathing on you. Because you may think you at war with me and you don't understand you got a spirit on you. You may think that you got an issue with me, but your spirit is being irritated. You know your spirit is being irritated. Listen, when somebody talking to you, you have to, you start to breathe different. You see how it's changing? Now, if they listen to me, they'll be able to fix so much of this spiritual problem out here. If they can just listen to how I just gave them, how they can change the wording, because you have to transform and grow as you ascend. It can't be the same word as it's been used, and it's been used the wrong way. So then you start breathing, and people start saying they got animosity or pressure on their chest. They start experiencing anxiety. Anxiety is one of the main ways you can understand you're dealing with spiritual warfare. You understand? So who's breathing on you? Whose breath work is affecting your reality? You understand that? You have to be cautious of that. Dr. Malachi York explained that they had what's referred to as Sem or Sama. Okay, when you say Samael, the poison, Sama or Sem. Okay, where people would get upset, you feel people upset around you, and they start getting that amber light in their chest, that poison in their chest, and they start hissing. He said that's what people do when they get mad. And they start hissing. It's that hissing. You can even hear it in the word. Okay, that's that emission of poison. All right, or a breath or a breathing environment that's unbalanced. Okay, or imbalanced or disorderly, and that causes problems anywhere. You understand that? When you walk outside and you see a calm breeze, no issues. But if you walk outside and you see a cloud looking at you like this, you say, why the fuck this nigga looking at me like that? And they say, what the fuck you want to do, nigga? You want to go outside today? You see that? And you see the spiral start to occur. Okay, you already know something is going on. Okay, then that's the wind. Okay, there's another way they say it, the wind. So then you know how to watch the wind around you. You breathe in and out, and so does the planet breathes in and out. Or there's at least some type of circulatory system, or respiratory system rather, of the planet where there's some type of motion of what that same thing you can do. Breathing in and out, sounding like the wind. You understand that? So again, if you can watch and pay attention to that, you may be able to pay attention to what people are saying when they say spiritual warfare. They don't know what they're saying. Okay, but they're on point. Are not the governments messing with the weather? Yes, that's spiritual warfare. Are not people messing with people's algorithms? Yes, spiritual warfare. Are not people messing with people's brains? Yes, spiritual warfare. Any information that goes out, when spirit is definitely information, okay? Or ruh. I told you how to find that just through the sound alone. Ruh. Ancient Egypt, it means to know or knowledge. Okay? Ruh. Ruh. In Arabic means what? Soul, as they call it. And then you have ruh. You see how I just keep separating, right? But the main thing is there. And this is, so it's still ruh. Okay? It's still there. It just keeps separating. All right? So you have ruach, okay, which I guess these would switch places just to be technically correct. These will switch places. The point is still there, that you have different vowels or sounds that are put in between. But the main thing is there, okay? It means spirit. All right? And these are interchangeable, all right? And they're up for debate because people think soul is spirit. People think spirit is soul. But if they tell you to test every spirit or try every spirit to see if that spirit is of God, because not every prophet that says they're of God is actually God's prophet, they're telling you to use the information. Test the spirit with the spirit. Okay, you have to be a spirit to a certain degree to be able to test certain spirits. Okay, but if you're not, okay, let's say you're Daniel the prophet, or you see these other beings, they're able to test spirits to a certain degree that you may not be able to. But if you're using that same science of Nebi, okay, what is Nebi? Nebi. Or Nevi, or Nebe, Newube, Nubu, Nubu, right? You say Noob, like the Nubian, okay, Noob, Nebiun, Nuabian, Nebun, Nevun, Novum means 9, okay, Neviim means prophets. Okay, the only difference will be when you say it in Arabic, you still say Nebi, okay, but you'll say Enbiya. Okay, Enbiya would be, I think that's the plural. You got to go fact check me. Okay, so Nevi, Navy, Navi. You have to use the science of water. In the beginning was the water. In the beginning was the word. In the beginning was who. Okay, you got to go before who, actually, though, because in beginning is actually not the beginning. So you have to go before who, and before who is who knew. Who knew. Okay, Nu was the water, so you have Nu, which brings you all the way back to Nu brings you all the way back to Nubu, okay, or Nobu, the message, Nebi, messengers of God, Nu, out of the water. In the beginning was what? The water, because the water was never created in the biblical scripture. Okay, they said better the sheep. Better the sheep was saying they created something or they were forming something. You got the word right there, better. All right, but they say better sheet, okay? In the beginning, God created. They say bara Elohim. In the beginning, God created. Bara, go look that up. That's formed, not just create as you think. Formed, as in there was things there that could actually have been pulled together to form it. Okay? Better sheet. In the beginning, God, or the gods, if they want to say plural, Elohim, or Elohim, created or formed the earth, which was the land, Eretz, okay, and Shemaim, which is the heavens, okay, Shemaim, the heavens and the earth. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But they did not say Moya, okay, or Maya, or Mayim, the waters. So the waters were not created. Closest you get to it is in the beginning was the word. Word is the closest thing you get to the waters, literally, all right? And behind that is Nu. You understand that? So you have word as who, ancient Egypt, okay, which predates the biblical scripture. You have word as who, And then you have the Nu, which was what they call the, what do you call it? Primordial waters, the prime order, the order that was there before everything. They did say that they separated the waters. The water that they separated was the deep waters called Tehom. All right? Tehom. You see that? Tehu me. It's right there. Tehu or Tehuma. Okay? Like Tehuti. And Ma is T. Ma-ti. Okay? How do you know that? Ma-ti is like saying the word. Ma-ti. Or Metu. Or Medu. You see that? Ma-ti. Tehuma. I just showed you Nu, which was right there behind Hu. Okay? The waters before the utterance of the water. Okay? Tehu-me. Tehom. And Tehom means deep waters. Okay? Deep is another way for them saying primordial. They're talking about abyss. Abyss. Okay? You want to know what abyss is? Abyss is another one of those things that stands right there in front of the water. Abyss. Abyss is Tehuti. Okay? Which is the same thing. Tehuti is Tehuma. Okay? Because Ma and T are the same. If you go look up TT, literally, you'll see breast. Look at this. Let me show you something. I can't remember which tribe use it, but you got to fact check me. I know the Africans use it. But when you said T, they even try to pervert it by saying titty. You see that? But when you say T, you're saying breast. Okay? Or they'll say TT. But it also means life. So when you see TT, please understand that it is a word that means life. And when you say TT, okay, you're saying breast, and these are interchangeable. Okay? Why is that important though? Because another word for a breast, all right, is what? An udder. Go look it up. Udder. And what does that sound like phonetically? Utter. Udder. Okay? Udder. And if I keep somebody abreast, what am I doing? I'm keeping them informed or up to date. All right? So our first alignment with information coming through our ma, okay, or mama, as mammals, those of y'all who read the book How to Speak Elite, then I break that down that the only mammal that we truly know of as human beings are the women. Okay? Because this word mammal or the mama L, the woman God, brought you to the word udder or breast. Go look it up. And even though men have what they call breasts, we don't have mammary glands. You see what I'm saying? We don't have the ability to nurse. You see? But the mother does. So then the male and the women, the mother and the women and the men had to latch on to the breast. And through that, they received their what? Nutrients. Nutrients. You see that? And with the nutrients came information. Information that enhanced your coding. If you don't remember, there was a point in time when they said people that were nursed were smarter. I was nursed. People that were nursed were more intelligent. They're getting all that information straight to their brain, fed straight to them through the mother. Genetic upgrades, if you want to call it that. You see what I'm saying? So you couldn't talk about Ma or the mother or the water without speaking of that side, which people forgot about. So it became what? Father. We got that. Son. We got that. And then they said Holy Ghost, which is an oxymoron phonetically, because how is something going to be holy or completely ghost? Not there. Okay, but they say Holy Ghost or Holy Ghost or the Holy what? Spirit, which people conflate those. I don't know if we got time. Okay, so you have the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. That makes sense if you're drawing this symbol, because that is a hole right here. Okay, but still, you have to say this is the mother. Okay, the mother. And this is the child. Okay, or the key, the child. And then this is the father or the baba. All right. So you have mama, you have child, and then you have baba. All right. Or upa. So the mama Ma, or mama, ma, is Nu, the waters, the primordial waters. She was there first, the waters. That's why you say mama, water, and you draw this symbol. It looks like water. When we were children, we used to draw it like that. That's the water. Ma, mama. And then you have Uba, Abba, Abba, Abba. Let this cup pass me by. Abba, Baba, Uba, Abu, Upu. Okay? Upa or Upu. And Upu meant mouth. Remember I told y'all that, right? So you have Nu, Abu, Nuabu. Nu, and this word wa means and. Nuabu, Nuabu. There's a link between the two. And you have to honor your mother and your father so that you could experience life everlasting, that your days be longer. You see, you have to honor your mother and your father. But they taught us only the Father, the Son, and marry, which, interestingly enough, when you say marry, what does it mean? Marry, it means the waters or the sea. Go look it up. The sea. If it's Mary's time, and that law applies, maritime law, what are we talking about? The water, okay, or the sea, or the ocean. You see? So Mary is left out. Even though when they do Hail Mary, they'll say Mother of God, because God to them is the key, or chi, or child, which is who? Jesu, Jesus, or yes, you. If I'm talking to you. If I'm not talking to you. So me, yes, you, which is Yeshu. Okay? Or O, breath of life. Yeah, Shu. And Shu in ancient Egypt is the breath of life. Go look it up. Or air, simply. Yeshu, Yeshua. If y'all want to screenshot that. You see that? Okay? So, again, people had to go through certain schools of information in order to achieve degrees. I went through those schools, and I have the degrees. We're not supposed to just sit on the degrees. We're supposed to be able to show you how to connect the dots so that you can understand in full what's being spoken of. You with me? So Nuwapu, mother and father science, is speaking about what people call imbalance. Okay? And you need to have both of those understood, land and water, in order to win this war. And the spiritual warfare that y'all are talking about is based on one key thing. All right? They call it this, information, which is what happens when you connect the dots. Other than that, they only appear to be information, but you don't know what this is. You see? You have to connect the dots. When you do connect the dots, then you'll see the center of all of it. You still have to have an understanding, which is why I taught y'all beneath formation, which I got that from Dr. Melikazi York. Beneath formation, information, okay? And then you have out formation. All right? Which is bio. And bio means life, living. Remember, this is an Eve operation. You don't want to be walking around dead. You with me? So then, here's what you need to move forward. You're telling us all this stuff, Faise. What am I supposed to do? I'll tell you. Here's what you need to move forward. I already showed you the green light. Okay? Green. Told you what it was. About healing. So that was cure. Told you about the blue light. What was that? Blue light was speaking like Vishuddha and optimality. Pure. Purity. All right? Then I showed you the crown, which was what? Purple. which was what? Sure. Okay? So you had to be cured first. Then you had to be pure, purified. Then you had to be sure. Meaning you ain't supposed to be asking whether or not you don't need my permission right now. You see what I'm saying? You don't need my permission, especially now, because you're after the violet light. Okay? Violet. Bio. Bio. These two are interchangeable. Bio. Let. Lit. Okay? Violet. The light of life. Purple. The crown. Sahas ra ra. Sahas ra ra. Okay, as they call it, or the crown, corona. Remember I told you crown, corona, violet. So this should be you now. This is you. Let that be them. You understand? That's not you. You don't go up under. You're not under. You're not sleep. You're not under arrest. You understand? You've risen up out of your sleep. Wake up out of your sleep. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. You understand that? You are Lazarus. You've been risen up. You see me? So you can't go back. Unless you decide to, that's on you. But even still, it'd be like taking a red pill. Or what I call the green pill now. You'd be like taking a green pill and thinking that because you're a cipher, you say that steak tastes good to you, that you're saying it's a real steak. You know it's not a real steak. Do you understand that analogy? Okay? You know what Pop say? Malachi said what? Once you know right from wrong, wrong can't get you. You see what I'm saying? So they can't get y'all. When you see me out here going into the world and going against this being or that being, da 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 da, I'm challenging the demons on purpose to give them the same opportunity that I gave y'all when some of y'all found me because I was calling out Young Boy and King Von, the rest of them. So long ago, these people went around when that war was taking place. They were scared to fight. You didn't see none of these people standing up against drill music. You didn't see none of these people calling out the demons as they were talking about sliding on the communities and cussing people moms in their songs and threatening people's family and dissing people's dead relatives and making the music and going viral with it and doing dances and standing on people's graves. Where was all these spiritual people then? Now that a lot of that smoke done cleared, here they come like they had something to do with clearing the air so they could sound like they know what they're talking about now and people can hear them. Wasn't nobody gonna hear y'all. The drill was too loud. That's all you heard. I stepped in and unplugged it. They didn't want to fight. I said, listen, look at all these videos of these people putting out this image right here with the goat. I said, those are demons. They coming up under that. And then I saw Brother Panic pop out. I said, see, he there to help him. Because the conscious community, they source from y'all the most. Because y'all meditate a lot, y'all do you're sourced. You're being sourced and you don't know it. I don't know how you don't know it. Well, yes, I do. Because you just didn't know any better. So then I show up to give you another option that is better. You understand? So you're either going to go with the lesser or the higher. That's on you, though. Don't think that I'm here to force anybody or that I need anybody to do this, that, and the third. No, I'm just giving these people the same opportunity that I gave y'all, those of y'all who may have been walking with me since like 2017, 2018. 2020, 2021, 2022. Some of y'all just now found out who I am. Okay? This isn't for you to follow Faise One and be like, yo, he's the one teacher. Da, 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 da. No, that's the same reason why I bring you to Malachi. To show you that, yo, he beat all these levels. Okay? We don't have him out here right now. We're in a big mess. You with me? So he by himself, this would have never been a situation, okay, with him not being in prison. This would have never existed. Him by himself. And if there's so many people out here that are supposed to be spiritual and woke, all this other stuff, this can't be the situation unless that's the one. You see? So that's my message. My message is not even to send you to him because his thing was don't stop at me. So I hope some of y'all ain't stopping there. He said, I ain't trying to stop you here. He said, I'm trying to take you straight to what you call in the source. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Straight to the source so you can make it right home. So we went to war with Baphomet and the rest of them. And we went to war with the conscious community because the conscious community had been taught by Bobby Hemming and Brother Panic and the rest of them that the Baphomet, listen to it, Baphomet was the way to go. It's not. It's the lesser light. If you were going to choose an order, you would choose Heka, not Penta. You with me? It's literally less degrees. Look at the degrees. Here go the degrees of Heka. Okay? Here go the degrees of Penta. It's less degrees. And it belongs to the goat, Baphomet, or Pen. This is who that really is. Pen, Penta, Panteo. And Teo is God, the goat God. And the goat God is Pan. You understand that? Which is why Panic walked around. Man, is it that easy for me that is not? Is it difficult for people to see? Am I making this up? Panic calls her brother Panic. You put that IC right there. You're saying you're of something. He's of Pan. That's a Greek goat god that caused chaos. When he would wake up out of his slumber, he would shriek. So the chaos or frenzy was titled as a panic. Literally, all these teachers be up under the Greeks. That's the Knights Templar. You see what I'm saying? Yet they're trying to convince y'all that I'm an agent. You can't even say this is an agent symbol, because this is a 6-pointed star. You just don't know that. Those of y'all who read my book, you know that. This is a 6-pointed star with a G or a key in the center. And I think I may have been the first, they might try to kick it one day, know that, to show people that the double X chromosome is the Masonic emblem. I don't even think the Masons know that. You see? We'll take you right back to the waters. The women, where all people started off this way before there was a breakage. You see what I'm saying? That allowed for XY, which became what? XY is 5 points. You with me? If you can see what I'm saying. Do, 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 do. You see? It's that 5-pointed star. You lose a point. Is it clear? So people will have to go back to the origins. That chi right there is that magnetic occurrence in the middle of the polarities to bring them into one. That's where you have to be now, on the dot. You already went through green, blue, purple, and now you're on beyond purple, which becomes UV, all right, or UV, which is unseen. All right, what really is, I should say, unseen first degree. Okay? It's the first degree. Because you have other degrees after that. X-ray, you have gamma. It's a lot more. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Now you have to understand, if there is no light and you cannot see, then you have to be the light. So now you're at Nur. You be the light. 2 more steps coming. Where you're able to see all of this making sense. And you start seeing it's like 6 months in between or a year where you pick up a degree. Notice how things keep changing, literally with me, every time we walk through these lights. We're not in 2023 November, when we went here. We're not in June 2024. We're not in January 2025. We already passed June, okay, where all y'all were able to see, those of y'all who walk close enough, you were able to see that unseen that I was telling y'all about, the green light that flashes, and you have to just see it. I even tried to show y'all on my camera. I noticed later that a lot of people couldn't see it. But I know while I was laying down, I was saying, while I'm laying on the ground, I said, only we can see the green. And, we always are crazy. You know that, right? We're always crazy. The communities never accept us. Prophets never accepted in the hometown, all of that. We're always crazy until it's over. And then everybody try to catch up and play catch up with what I've been saying. I said, use me. To whom? I said, whoever is that which I don't understand. Whoever is, use me. Okay? I've already let go of my body. I've let go of all this other stuff. Niggas be talking about, I'm rich, da 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 da. I have a song called Brokest Nigga Ever that I wrote when I was 17 years old. I beat you to it. You understand that? I'm not poor, I'm pure. And I don't need any of the excess stuff. You don't see me with excess stuff. When I did fundraising, whatever it was, that was to get more of this done. We got a movie done for the children. We did music, more music. I got the hugest catalog out of all these people running their mouth. All that because people say I'm with you. So no, not poor, pure. Is that what you meant? Then you're right. Yes. So again, Brokest Nigga Ever was a song where I was explaining that I acquired the reality, not the fiat or the fake or some carbon-based print that says this means something. Not even the digital. You see? So when I stepped forward and said, we're going to play for change, didn't we? When I said that, that was 2019. Y'all want to know how many followers I had when I made that cash app? I had 11. Nope. Was it? Because yeah. I had 11,000 followers. I said, yo, we're going to play for change. And I never stopped. I kept moving. Now we at 500,000 and they're trying to convince y'all to following this fake. Whatever they're going to do, whatever they can. And it's going to be on you if you believe them. It don't take you but 10 minutes to research Faise One. And it don't even take you that. I'm telling you. You're going to be like, nah, this dude been around. He didn't pop up out of nowhere. Y'all did. We don't know where y'all came from. You see what I'm saying? So this is where we at with it. Spiritual warfare. Be cautious of the information that's coming out. Okay? Remember I opened up I think it was a How to Speak Elite book again. Where I said, if this is the information age, what else is it? It's also misinformation age. Okay? Look at the word right there, miss. They don't what? They say they don't miss, but then they miss. It's a misinformation age. Okay? Remember Beyonce said, come on, ladies. Now let's get information. You see what I'm saying? That's what these people talk about the matriarch. They don't want the matriarch. You can tell they don't want the matriarch because they're not ready to make all things new. Because when I challenge the old things, and I say we're going to make all things new, look how they respond. They get mad at me. I took them right to the center. I said, in the beginning was the word, right there. Right there. They said, who? I said, exactly. You understand? And you understand what's behind that? In the beginning was the water. Or before the beginning was the water. Which became the utterance, like I just showed y'all. So now, are you abreast? Or are you not? Are you a part of TT? Go back and listen to that song. You know, when I made that song, people around me, I would tell them, I said, you know, there's a higher message to this song, right? And I would explain it. I said, you didn't hear me talking about the crown? You didn't hear me talking about, I said, you got to listen to it. And they listened to it. Same thing with Good Man. My song, Good Man. People thought that was a love song. When I was in the studio recording it, it was some sisters in there, and they thought I was talking about, like, an ex. I'm like, no, I said, you got to listen. You see? Good Man is like a prophetic song because you start seeing more of what I was saying in the song after I made the song. Said it might have been different next time. Maybe this isn't the best. Well, I said, man, might have been different next life. Maybe this isn't the best time. Maybe I wasn't your type. I wasn't cold enough for you. What is he saying? It's that same science. Now, you go and look up the Ninth Hour album. Okay? And you're going to see this on the cover. A pyramid. You're going to see me standing here with my arms stretched out like this. And then above me, you're going to see what's referred to as a Shem. Okay? Which is like what they call the baby planes in NOI. Or a flying chariot, a chariot of fire, as they call it in Hebrew Israelite school. Or doctrine. Okay? And behind me, you saw a rainbow. Okay? Which is another sign. All right? So why would I do that? Because this is the cross. Remember, I showed you that. The pyramid is the cross, but you can only see that when you're looking from the overseer's point of view. Okay? The cross or the fire in the middle, the central fire. Right? So on the 9th hour, okay, you saw me standing there and I showed you what the 9th hour was. okay, as a shape, didn't I? That's not the shape. That's Pac-Man. I don't know why we playing games. This is still Pac-Man. He's just hungry. All right? This is the 9th hour, the exit that you get. You just have to flip it. And when you flip it, what do you see? The letter what? The letter G. Still Pac-Man. But he getting out. Y'all get what he's saying. At least we eating the ghost, if you understand. Right? So that was the letter G. And the G is in the center. How do you know that? Of the rainbow that I put in the background, you see Roy G. Biv. Right there in the center is the green. Also in the chakra chart, you got the green right there. You see? You got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Right there in the center is that 7. Okay, or that G. You with me? And the 9th hour is that time period. Really, it's from 3. That's a whole other science. But it's a 9 where you have to ascend, rise above the cross, Rosicrucian. Y'all hear what I'm explaining? So this Good Man song came from the 9th hour album. 9th hour. So what spirit is speaking? What type of spirit is speaking? Is what they call that messianic figure. Saying, well, it might have been different next life. Maybe this isn't the best time. Maybe I wasn't your type. I wasn't cold enough for you. Y'all need beings who literally don't have that soul or that solar center sun activated. Okay, y'all need beings without soul. Y'all need beings that just sit there and say anything. Some of the most vain things come out of these people's mouth, and they say these are the leaders, or these are the chosen ones, or the spiritual. Some of them, they speak vanity. Words of vanity. You see what I'm saying? So I said, maybe I wasn't cold enough for you. I was too bold. We rushed too soon. Because I said, we can do this. Regardless of what it looks like, we can bring this realm back to order. It can't happen. And I used to tell people, because they say, well, you're trying to be a celebrity. I said, what? There's a reason why I'm going for celebrity. I never said I wasn't. I said there's a reason for it, because these people look up to these artists and they lead them astray. So what is wrong with them looking up to me, even if it's long enough for them to figure out their own shoes fit? They got to tie their own shoes, stand up and walk their own path, instead of thinking that they hold on to my rope and walk on my feet, you know what I'm saying? Or hold on to my feet as I drag them. No, hold on to the rope. Say you still got that central idea. You never forgot what the purpose was. You still have your soul. Your soul purpose. Your definiteness of purpose. You never left it. You never lost it. You're still rooted. Okay? Even to the point of ascension. You're going to grow soil. Or you're so L or soul L, okay, that you're not going to fall. What was wrong with that? What's wrong with Faise One becoming a celebrity? What's wrong with we done got 500,000 followers? Nobody want to say nothing. Nobody want to acknowledge it except the people. Now that you don't see the celebrities coming out and say, yo, this guy's coming up. They're not going to do that. So you can't say I'm a part of the industry, because why is the machine not helping me? The people are doing this. The people have been doing this from the beginning. Remember, I had a page before this with 33,000 followers. 32.8 to be exact. And they did what? They crucified it. And then I rose again. They don't remember that? I didn't always have 2 underscores after my name. It was just Faise One. But they got rid of my account. And then I said, so? And I got up and we kept moving as if it didn't happen. That was in 2018 that they did it. By 2019, I had 11,000 followers. I said, we're going to play for change. That's why people started to send funds, because they wanted to help me, and they haven't stopped. You're not going to convince these people they made a mistake. When I told them, I said, if I'm wrong, I'll be 40 sitting in my basement, and none of this would have went anywhere. I said, if I'm right, and I'm right, then you're going to see the growth. I literally was giving them things that are going to happen. I was giving them messages before. I was speaking before a thing, if you hear me. I said, you're going to see this pillar, this pillar, this pillar, these pillars, they're going to fall. And then you're going to see Faise One's pillar is going to rise in the east. After all these drill rappers, all these people fall, you're going to start seeing me go up. That happened around August 8th of 2022. I think it was 2022. And then you started seeing it happen. That's when we hit the first 100,000. By the next year, March of the next year, we was at 100,000. And we kept going, kept going, kept going. I don't know why I would buy a follower. Do y'all see how this shit has been going? With people who didn't pay a dime to follow me. You see how fast they roll on you when they think that somebody else is popping? And I just let them. Go ahead. You know what I mean? If y'all want to screenshot this, by the way. It's right here. You just let them. I let them go. You know what I mean? See how fast people switch up on you? When they think this is going or that's going for them and da-da-da-da. And then everybody got to keep coming back to the center. And I'll be still there. In motion, just centered. So why would I pay somebody? Why would I pay a bot or pay a person to follow me? If you see how people that claim that they coming because out of the goodness of their heart, they want to help and all this other stuff, and then they just switch up. I'm not paying nobody shit to follow. As a matter of fact, if I told you, if I cared about followers, I wouldn't block so many people. I know this is going to happen because I wrote it. I got 3,000 people on my block list. That's 3,000 people that could have showed up as a follower. I don't give a damn. I have the pen. I wrote it this way. Y'all remember? If you don't remember, go on SoundCloud and type this in. Letters from a watcher. This was before I ever did the letters, by the way. I might have been 14, 13 years old when I came up with this. I think I might have released it 14, 15 years old on SoundCloud. Go look it up. Somewhere around that time. Letters from a watcher. Before I became of age. So now you see me doing the letters. People say, why you write letters to this person? Why you write letters to that person? Why you write letters to that? Like I said in a letter to T.I., I said, most of y'all, a lot of y'all would not even know who I am if I didn't do the letters. There are a lot of y'all who, if I wouldn't have done the letters, you wouldn't know me. There are a lot of y'all who, if I didn't make the videos I made, you wouldn't know me. And now they're confused. They saying stuff like he only talks about other people because they can't sit through a live. Right? When you go to Faise One, check this out. Go to Faise One. I'm going to show y'all how they liars. That's what I do. Faise One live archive. Just type it in. Screenshot that so you can have it. Go look at it. Faise One live archive. And you're going to see, it should be over 100 videos of me teaching for hours. And it's not on people. It's on so many different types of subjects. And they weren't there for the Clubhouse days where I would be there for over 12 hours talking and teaching. No, you don't understand that I reached over into the mainstream on purpose. When I did the letter to Lil Baby, I knew what I was doing. When I did the letter to 21 Savage, I knew what I was doing. When I did the letter to Sexy Red, I knew what I was doing. Now you got niggas on here that they don't know that I can see, and y'all can see. It's really jealousy. They want to come on here tomorrow so the ancestors got a message for me, and they didn't have shit together. The ancestors was that wrong. You know, then they everybody channeling the wrong ones. Because you're supposed to be telling me what I used to be like. And I'm like, okay, if I used to be that way, and you're saying something changed, tell me when. Because everybody who know me, it's been the same message since you met me. It has not changed. We do not rock with the industries. We don't rock with their machines. Anybody who know me also know I did not stop at the music industry. I said the conscious community too. We're going to hit them. The political community too. We're going to hit them. If you've been walking with me, some of you got here yesterday and you think you're going to know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. I haven't wavered or drifted. Y'all let these people drift into your communities and you didn't check them. And I checked them and I show you, I say, look, they don't know what they're talking about. So you don't have to know. And then I realized, okay, I've overstayed. So when you see me shift, again, just know that I said that. I overstayed over there. Because remember we went over to the Rashad people, I told y'all we ain't going to stay there. And everybody thought it was just going to be stuck on Rashad. It was the same thing with 19. It don't matter who it is I'm talking about. It's not the person. Y'all think that way because you're fans. I'm not a fanatic. You understand? I'm not of Pan. That's all you're saying. Y'all belong to Pan. Y'all worship idols. I don't. I'm not idle. I'm in motion. So it may seem significant to you because somebody that's your favorite gets called out. Family, that ain't nothing. We're going to keep moving. It's about the people that are surrounding the star. If you see me target a star, it's about these. It's not about this. It's about these. You see what I'm saying? We understand the light of this. We're looking at these beings, and we're like, these beings don't understand that this thing is disguising itself as a star, but it's really a black hole about to suck them in. They ain't gonna be able to move. They'll be stuck. You see that? Okay. So that's who I come for. I come for the people to remove them from illusion. You can't tell me I haven't been doing that though. Because look at how many illusions we corrected. Let's list some. Y'all list them. Come on, let's play. And then I'm going to get out of here. Let's list some of the illusions we shattered with these people. Yes or no? Did we shatter this illusion once and for all? They can't even say it no more, can they? Carbon. Something that simple. Didn't we shatter that? Yes, we did. Illusion shattered. What's another one? Remember this? Neuromelanin. Something feels wrong. Remember this? Neuromelanin. Didn't we shut that down? Okay, cool. What else? Remember this? DEA. All this coming from Rashad Jamal and Young Pharaoh and them. Didn't we shut that down? Yes, we did. Okay, what else did we shut down? Come on now. Some illusions we had to get to. Where y'all at? We shut down Baphomet. That was easy. Next, we shut down Sophia. Anybody running behind Plato. Rest his soul, but no. Next, we shut down the pentagram. All that pentagram, magic, all that. Talking about that's who we are up under that school, and we ain't supposed to move forward. Shut that down. What else did we shut down? We shut down duality. Remember they were trying to say duality equals as above, so below? Didn't we shut that down? Yeah, we shut that down. What else? Anything else? I shut down Abraxas. Should nobody be following behind some shit that literally means the cause of all falling. We shut that down. What else? Yeah, I showed you the 607 meaning. They didn't like that. Because they didn't know people could do that still. I can. Showed you that it's bunk. And bunk like means a bed and sleep. And that's what he doing. Yep, we did that. What else? What else? Fourth and fifth dimensions. Come on. Y'all were on there. They took the live down to protect him. Because that was the one live where he won the big one. You see what I'm saying? Fourth and fifth dimension. They can't have their agents fucking up like that. Fourth and fifth dimension. Didn't we shut that down? Yeah, we shut that down. Because they can't explain that. He said, I'm talking about nothingness in space. That's all 3D. All of that's literally within 3D. What you call it nothing ain't you don't even if I ask him to describe that, he gonna say it's a feeling. A feeling is something. So we can stop that. In space and time, the continuum that exists is literally existing within third dimensional space. Even if you try to isolate time, it's one dimensional, which is up under 3 dimensions. So next. You can't even say 4 dimensional or 4D without saying 1 plus 3D. You know what I'm saying? 1 plus 3D equals 4D. And only 1D would be time. Okay. And then they have to warp that time, which is space, around an object of third dimensional reality. Man, I don't know. I be feeling bad. Like, why am I so fucking smart? And he be fucking dumb. Yeah, we shut down all that high shit. Remember the spirit? I can live off the spirit alone. I said, okay, if I put you in a box, okay, and you breathing out and ain't no oxygen there, you gonna be able to live? Then he said oxygen didn't exist. The end. Because he literally was in there and took breath to say that. Okay, the 23 scientists thing, shut that down. No, you took that from Dr. Malachi York. You don't know what that is, and it comes from the Bible, so you don't know why he used it. Next. Meaning of 666. Yep, we shut down 666. Okay, because 666 is a composite number. It's not 6, period, 6, period, 6. It's a composite, so it cannot be carbon because that's not a composite number. You understand that? And then you have different carbons. So which carbon are you referring to? Also, you have to remember you have different carbons. So all 666 is not carbon. You have 666, you have carbon 12, you have carbon 13, you got carbon 14. Wrong, next. Y'all just wanted it to be a rhetoric, but you're wrong. How you going to just pull out? They're like saying, yeah, I got a hand. You have anything else? No, just a hand. No, I'm pretty sure you got an arm. No, just a hand. That's what I feel. No, it's wrong. Okay, next. Non-ether is black people. Wrong. So non-ether, we shut that down. You don't know what that is. You don't know what you're talking about. You didn't. They couldn't even tell me what the noble gases were. You just regurgitate what Malachi York is talking about, and you don't know what it is. Shut down. Language is not needed. Yep. I don't even know why people thought that was a point. Language isn't needed. Then we shut down that because they were using language, right? Then they said the books wasn't needed, but they were citing the books, right? And then they were lying. All of that. We shut down that. What else? Come on now. Because we've been shutting down a lot of stuff. Understand? Yeah, we shut down understand. That doesn't make sense. You don't know that this is referring to a pyramid. Okay? So you can't see what's going on. Next. You had the guys that overstood and the human beings stood under. You know what I'm saying? So next. What else? 666 being black people? Yeah. We can put that there. Same thing though. 666 blacks. We shut that down. What else? What else? The black spell? Yeah, all that. Black this, black that, pro-black. Let's put pro-black there. We shut down pro-black. That's a trick. Next. What else? Shut down wanted to be Bible characters. Exactly. The name game. We shut that down. The name. Damn. I'm going to have to write it the right way. The name claim game. We shut that down. Because y'all only want to claim famous characters. Nobody was just regular. Name claim game. We shut that down. What else? Yeah, peace and chaos. Shut that down. That doesn't make sense. Why would you wish that on somebody? You're just trying to be different and you fucked it up. Next. The ancestors. We shut that down. There's no such thing as the ancestors. Because no matter how you say it, it doesn't make sense. We don't all have the same ancestors' bloodline. But if you're going to try to say it's everybody that was birthed before us, that's white people too. So I don't understand that. And you don't have to be dead to be an ancestor. So what are you talking about? Yeah. Dark matter energy. I don't care what nobody say. That's an oxymoron. So yeah, we shut that down. What else? Reptilians. Yeah, we done with that. That's old. It just means reptile-like, and human beings are reptile-like. So next. What else? Metaphysics. We shut that down. Ain't no such thing as metaphysics. You don't even know what physics is. In order for you to go beyond physics, you have to know what physics is. So no, you don't have metaphysics. You may have quantum physics, but they're not saying they're going beyond it. They're just going inside it. They still trying to figure out what it is, so they're going deeper in it. And nobody went outside of the physical reality. Next. Inky is here. Next. Nope, not buying it. Shut that down. What else? Earth is flat. Well, I guess I did shut it down because they don't know what they're talking about. So, yep, Earth is flat. We shut that down. Earth is a sphere. Ain't nobody been able to stand on that either. So, shut that down. What else? Downloads. Jesus, right? I mean, look at how long this list is. We shut down downloads because ain't nobody getting them. Or you're getting them from the wrong person because your shit be wrong. So what kind of downloads is those? Yeah, I shut down that. that CV thing, CV19 situation. Yeah, we shut that down. Because what was that? And where the fuck did it go? And we been shut that down. Reflection, yeah, peace reflection, shut that down. Because how am I a reflection of you? You understand that? That doesn't even make sense. They thought they make sense. But again, the reflection aspect is happening because of the sun. So the only reflection that you would actually be of is the light of the sun, which is bouncing off of something to another thing. But there's no mirror aspect there. So you're not looking at a reflection of yourself. That, again, they don't know what that word means. What else? Spiritual community. Yep, ain't no such thing. Unless you're just saying a bunch of people to get together and breathe. I'm not mad at it. Spiritual just means breathing, so everybody be breathing. So everybody's neighborhood is a spiritual community. Talking in tongues. Yep, we shut that down. No, what you're saying, that's been shut down. You're talking about light language. Fake. It's fake. They can't translate what they say. They just gonna keep repeating. What does it mean? You're disrespectful. What does it mean? It's not disrespectful to ask. You see what I'm saying? The biggest one, everyone claiming to be the master teacher. Yeah, we shut that down. Moon worship. We didn't really shut down moon worship, but I understand what y'all was saying. But we did show how, like, that's what they doing. Only black people got melanin. Yeah, black melanin. Black only melanin. Shut that down. Next. They didn't even know that. That was crazy. Black people's superpowers. They act like that didn't happen. Black superpowers. Yep. Shut that down. What else? Yeah, planet Kai. Stop it. That's a Sumerian word that you're mispronouncing. Akkadian. You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, how long do we... Because we'll be here all night, right? Yeah, I am a prophet. El Nebi. We shut that down. That don't even make sense linguistically. So you named yourself wrong. It's supposed to be El Nebi. Or El Nebi. Right? So all that... I'm a prophet. We can put that right there. I am a prophet. Make a prophecy. Your prophecy fell and it didn't come through. You're not a prophet. Stop. Okay? Yeah, what else? You only need to eat the sun? I'm not even going to put that. Not even going to put it. Yeah, revolution is a spell. Because revolution means to go in circles. Revolution. Wrong. You understand? So we passed... Hold on, y'all. Yeah, revolution is a spell. What else? Chosen ones. Yep. Chosen ones. We shut all that down. You don't even know what you're chosen for. You don't know who's doing the chosen. You're just standing in line waiting. We don't need to drink water. Shut that down. Like, what the fuck? We don't need water. We're composed of fucking water. Yeah, eat the sunlight. We already said that. What else? Yeah, Black History Month. We shut that down. No such thing. I mean, there's a such thing. They call it that, but it doesn't make sense. Because the word black saying you don't have in history, saying, okay, so you don't have history. So you're remembering that you don't have history. Nope. Next. Are all these topics on the archives? I think so. As much as I've been doing lives. Only vegans can say. I ain't heard nobody say that. Master Mason, what about it? 19 keys. I exposed that. 19 keys. They don't know what those are. I think they have an idea because of Islam. But I think it's clear they don't know how. At least if they do know what they are, they don't know how to use them. Astral projection. I didn't shut that down. Astral projection is a thing. I do that all the time. So somebody did try to tell me it was daydreaming. Because they don't astral project. Yep. What else? Every Mason worship the devil? Yeah. Satanic masonry. We shut that down. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Stop it. Yeah, I put pro-black. You see what I'm saying? Like, we done shut down a lot of illusions. So it's hard for people to teach this same stuff now. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, 7 chakras. As soon as I came out with that, niggas started immediately copying that. 7 chakras. You're missing 2. You're missing the emission and you're missing the foundation. You can't have roots without ground. So, yeah. There's that. The ice wall, yeah, we shut that down. Ice wall don't make sense. What else? The monad, I mean, yeah, we shut that down. All that means is one or unit. He didn't even know what it meant. You can't go to Antarctica. Yep, shut that down. Antarctica. Travel. Because you can literally go to Antarctica. And it just has people go to Antarctica. At least that's what I'm seeing. And of course, you shut down gravity. I ain't shut down gravity. I showed gravity. And the formula. Pineal gland, I ain't shut that down. You said tell them Allah is God. How about this? You go and do it, but don't spam my thing. I'm about to get you up out of here. Before you get out of here though, you go tell them Assalamu alaikum. Allah of the Quran is not the true most high. Okay, that's y'all. Y'all having a religion war. Yeah, define gravity. What else? I guess we go down the list. We got the monad, 7 chakras, ice wall, carbon, neuromelanin, DEA, Baphomet, Sophia, pentagram, duality equals as above, so below, Abraxas, 607 equals 13, bunk, 4th and 5th dimension, the high ass nigga, 23, 666, 9 ether, language isn't needed, understand, black folks, or 666 equals black folks, pro-black, name, claim, game. Everybody want to be biblical characters and Quran characters and sacred tablets characters and hieroglyphic. Peace and chaos. Why you send chaos to people? The ancestors, that don't make sense. Antarctica travel, Black History Month, 19 keys, satanic masonry, dark matter energy, that don't make sense. Reptilians, metaphysics, Inky is here. Who the fuck is that? How is he here? Earth is flat, Earth is sphere, downloads, you ain't getting those. Could they be wrong? CV90, we know that was some bullshit. Reflection, that's wrong. You reflection of the sun. Spiritual community, ain't no such thing, because all y'all mean is you saying you breathing. Light language, you can't talk. All that's doing is just you bouncing off of the Pentecostal church saying that you speaking in tongues, but you don't know what tongues are, so you don't know what language is. So you're saying light language means gibberish, and that's not what the fuck it is, unless you meant Babel and Genesis chapter 11 where they separated everybody and confused everybody, which that's what the fuck you're doing, you babbling. Black only melanin, false, that don't make sense. Black superpower, that didn't happen. Niggas know that. Planet Kai or Ki, no, that didn't occur. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just saying the word Kai, okay, because you don't know what you're saying, but you still don't know what it is. You haven't read the tablets. You read at the holy tablets. El Nebi, that didn't make sense. I showed you how that didn't make sense etymologically or linguistically, and then this nigga was caught up on hermetic principles. So how the fuck and where the fuck is you getting this information from if you stuck up under the 7? I'm a prophet. Niggas ain't prophets. Revolution, walking in circles. You stuck. Chosen ones, ain't nobody chose you. And if you saying you did, you chose yourself for something, then you got to understand what the fuck it is. And if you're going to explain it to me, it's saying waking people up and you don't know how to explain what that is, you don't know what it is. We don't need water. You're right. You're right. We don't need water. And hopefully, all the degenerates just stop drinking it. Hopefully, all the degenerates just be like, he's right. So give it about 30 days. It'll be all right. Everything will be better. Yeah, man, like a graduation program. It's reality. Hey, y'all about to get up out of here. I got some catching up to do. Hey, man, screenshot it so you can see all the stuff that they can't do nothing about. And it's just a little list. You know what I'm saying? That was just a little list. Go ahead, add this to the group of papers. Here go my notes. One day, one of y'all gonna be able to get that from me. Being woke was another one, was it? Yeah, because woke don't mean you know what's going on. It just means you woke up. You're awake. Going within, yeah. I mean, we could do this all night, can't we? You're not supposed to just go within. That nigga 607 on said, I just want people to go within only. Like, nigga, that means you're breaking the law. There's something called the law of correspondence. Remember I told y'all they're breaking the law. Duality is breaking the law. It's not as above, so below. They said as above, so below, as within, so without. If you're saying you want them to only go within, then you only want them to go below. Simple. And that's against the law. That's all happened to WB. I took out the nada. Father, Son, we just went, the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. Yeah. So my point is they dealing with that. They like, man, this nigga done shut a lot of this shit down. We don't like him. So many people, I ain't gonna say no names right now. Some folks, they follow me. They unfollow me, they follow me, they unfollow me. They're conflicted. I remember you was conflicted. They were conflicted. Because they don't know whether or not to stick with me or not stick with me. Here's a hint. Don't get wrapped up in the people. Don't get wrapped up in the people. You see me come for somebody? Don't look at who I'm coming for. Look at what I'm challenging. And watch. Just observe. That's wisdom. Don't feel like you got to take a side. Just observe first. See what's happening. That nigga pop up. I'm the fastest runner. Somebody else pop up and say, you are not the fastest runner. Don't throw tomatoes at him. Be like, on your mark. Just tell them to race. That's all. Say race and then shut up and not saying it in a negative way, but just stand back and watch. And they're going to run. They're going to run. And this one, don't worry. He's going to blow this one out the water. This one can run on water. You understand that? And then when he comes back and he wins the race, why are you still throwing tomatoes? This nigga said he was the fastest runner. This one showed up and raced him. Beat him to sleep. And he still ain't made it to the finish line. And this one's still running. Doing extra laps. Lapping niggas. They stuck. They still on lap number 1. We done went around 144 times. Trying to explain something to you. So don't get so caught up in the people. Never. Look at what's happening. You understand? So you don't end up in an ignorant situation where you're ignoring what's happening. But you can see it clear as day. How the fast going? Let me write y'all a letter. See what had happened was sincerely yours truly, Faise. How the fast going, Faise? People be fasting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you fast, you gotta fast, right? And then you benefit when you do it. So how you think it would go? Put yourself in my shoes. Okay, you ever fasted? Faise, I think you're deflecting. I'm not deflecting, this is how I feel. You know what I mean? How the fast going is, I like fasting. And I'm grateful for the ability to do that. I've done many fasts and completed them. I just did one recently, like 9 days. You know, fast is a different word too. Because when you say fast, you said also fast. You see what I'm saying? And that means 2 things. Like I was just telling you with the race, right? So they get to running fast, You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And you got some people who fast and they faster than fast. See? So, yeah. But how's it going? How's the fast going? How's it going? Do you mean to ask me how it's going? Or do you mean to ask me the more central question, sister, of how has it went up to a particular point? Because that's what we need to focus on, the center. It's not about how it's going. It's about how it's went. And that's what I'm thinking of, to be exact, about how it could go in the future. You know what I'm saying? You broke fast. I ain't break. What are you talking about? How I break? All she did was ask me a question. Now you gonna judge me tomorrow I broke fast. No, I didn't. And he gonna say I did it at a certain rate of speed. I didn't break. I'm still sitting here. Ain't nobody gonna make me break. He broke fast. No, I didn't break. No, I'll never break. I won't break slow. I won't break fast. You can ask me any question. I'm gonna answer it. Right there, that's at the center. We gotta pay attention to what's important. Look at the center. Look at the dot. Look at the thing. That's what we got. That's where we at. That's the thing. That's the divinity. That's the understanding that you got to have, right? Because when you start elevating to those ascension levels, things start shaking at a higher frequency. And you got to make some shake. Not make everything shake, just a little bit, some. All right? So what do you think? Because it's all about your mental. It's all about how you feel. It's all about not what the word fast you think it means or whether or not you go through 21 days. That's something that anybody, that's up for discussion. That's debate. That's debatable. The thing is, there is no time. So if I ever fasted, I was fasting and did fast and I'm still fasting. You see what I'm saying? So fasten your belt and get ready, because the thing is, 21 ain't nothing. Imagine what 40 would be. And think about it, right? Because if you see that I was like, I'm doing 21, what you think it'd be if I'm saying 40? So am I still, what's the thing you trying to ask me? How the fast going? How's your fast going? Everybody want to deflect. Everybody want to talk about reflections. But you see, now I'm not the reflection or the deflection. Okay? So peace and love and light to everybody who know about their own fast, their own ascension. Stop focusing on me and everybody else and whoever, all these other people. You know what I'm saying? Just stand in the center and stand on your square. Yeah. So that's what happened, because I'm still fast. Hey, you said fasting? I'm still fast. I'm still fast. I know how to run. I'm pretty quick. When I was younger, when you had to get the fuck on, we got the fuck on. So, yeah. So, respectfully, I don't feel like niggas need to be checking me like that. All this I done did, everything I do, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't never been slow. Ain't nothing slow about me. So, how's the fast going? It's going fast. It went. It went fast. It went quite fast. Question is, who sent you? Who you working for? The CIA? Is it God? Who is it? Shit, nigga. Listen, here's the situation. Y'all judging. Here go the situation. Okay? I was doing it. I did. Listen, I said, okay, here we go. I did 9 days. It ain't nothing. Right? This was me. I was doing it. Hey, yo, you want some food? I said, no, thank you. Yo, do you want some food? No, thank you. Nobody tempted me. But then I said, what the fuck is this? It was some shit above me. And it was a box. Right? I said, what the fuck? And somebody's hands was on it. I said, what the fuck is this? Right? Turns out it was God and them. Say, yo, we finna drop this shit on you. I said, yo, you don't got to do that. I'm already fasting. No, here go a lot of stuff to worry about. You fasting? Boom. They just dropped. I said, what the fuck? And I was like a damn mime. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, man, the first few things I'm like, I can handle this. You see what I'm saying? Niggas getting locked up. I'm like, oh my God, they get locked up. This shit going, they trying to cut this. I'm good, I can handle it. I beat it. I beat the first two. What's the day? This is day 4? Yeah, I'm on day 4. I am. I ain't lying. I'm on day 4 of 21. Nigga, they dropped the box daily. I said, that last box, I'm like, man, I gotta reset this shit. I can't be sitting here trying to figure all this shit out. So, today, day 5. When I started, I don't remember. The point is, nigga, that shit was like, oh, hell no. I started doing the calculation. I said, I'm finna be scratched the fuck out. I'm not in no situation to be doing this shit, bro. So I started making plans. Started making future plans. I said, one day. Shit, you can't just be doing that shit, bro. I tried. I did it. I did it for 4 days, damn near. But shit, I did that shit. I think it's because of all the shit that's going on. But it was so crazy. After I decided, I'm finna end this shit. Then it seemed like everything done calmed down. I'm like, man, little bitch. But it's cool, though. I'll let y'all know if I do it again. That's why I didn't announce no mass fast, for one. I don't want to just throw people in this shit, and I don't know what the fuck it is yet. So far, this a real one. That little 9 shit, that wasn't nothing. This a real one. This a real one. So shit, one day, possibly. You're blessed. I know I'm blessed. Thank you. You blessed too. Why you block my boy, bro? Who is bro? Why you block my boy, bro? I don't know who bro is. Does that answer your question, Top Notch Key? How's the fast going? It's gone, okay? Since everybody want to be up in my motherfucking... I was going to tell y'all anyway. But it's gone, goddammit. You know, some niggas would have cheated. So they would have ate and said, fuck it, I can't look like... I don't give a damn, nigga. I can't wait to tell. I just had me some chips. I came over this bitch. I just did. It's too much going on, bro. They try to scratch me out. And one thing I will not do is I will not lose my sanity. I will not lose my sanity. That fast went fast. It went quick as hell. Yeah, but see, a day to... That's never mind. Shit. Huh? Who be speaking the truth? Ospans. Bro, what the fuck is that? Maybe I blocked him because his name. What the fuck I'm supposed to do with that? Who is you? Ospans. I don't give a fuck what that nigga talking about. That ain't for me. Yeah, you follow nigga Ospans? Ospans. The hell is that? It's the fastest it's ever been. Yeah, for sure. That's why I ain't put y'all in this shit. This is my fight. No, this is my fight. Oh, okay. Remember the wood? Y'all want some of this? Yeah. No, this is my fight. Okay. I ain't want to throw nobody in this shit. I knew it would come. I think I might have war. I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm coming back. Don't worry. I'm gonna come back stronger. Yeah, they had a couple punches. I didn't expect that. Yeah. But I'll be back. I'll be doing well. There's a 9-day coming, you know. Nigga went back to lightweight. Shit, I ain't have my business nowhere over there. I ain't have no business over there right now. Shit. You can't be worried about shit. You can't be trying to figure out bills and all kind of shit. You can't do that. You can't be having to bail niggas out of jail. You can't do none of that shit. You can't be having to travel across the city because some other shit don't wait. I'm like, hold on. Wasn't nobody even saying nothing to me before I said I wasn't finna eat nothing, bro. Then I said I ain't finna eat shit. Now everybody got just everything, just landed. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Nigga was going through it. I'm like, man, hell no, I ain't finna do this shit. 607 did spell your name right. What you mean? Hey, man, BKG Slack, bro. God bless you, bro. God bless you, twin. Cause I'm looking at your PF, your profile picture, all that. You just look like a young nigga, bro. And sometimes I bring y'all on to just do my best. I'm tired though. So 607 is your folks, bro. Best thing I can offer you. Just go ahead, bro. Go on. Just going on, bro. And I'm sorry, bro. 'Cause I could have helped you, but at the same time, I'm tired of the motherfucker, and y'all get on my nerves sometimes. And so anybody that want to grab little bro and be like, yo, y'all go ahead. That's on y'all. Other than that, bro, don't come here telling me I know 607 I don't spell my name right. I made the nigga spell the shit right when I commented and said you spelled my shit wrong. Shit. Folk nigga ain't worried about you. Fuck you mean. You were raised by young boy them. I gotta diagnose y'all niggas before I speak to y'all, bro. Never mind, son. You good, son. You ain't even spell fuck right, bro. You endeared me. I got attacked by a little kid talking about where my McDonald's on. Yeah, this is a new generation different, bro. That nigga robbed you at phone point. They going on the ground. What my food at, nigga? What it going on the ground, son? Now that's a threat. You better give him some food. Y'all laughing. Nigga pull a phone out on your ass. Where it's at, son? Where it's at? Shit. You gonna drop it low, you gonna get robbed 40 more times before that season ends. Might as well get it up. Are we supposed to challenge darkness around us? Yeah. Challenge darkness around you, challenge darkness in you, challenge all of that. And always be truthful. See how the sister asked me how the fast going? And how I immediately told the truth. I ain't tell the truth immediately. But I was telling y'all how they be doing. But always stand on truth. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got. That's all you got. When did H get in you? Oh, that's some Atlanta shit. H been in you. All right, y'all. 2 minutes. I got to get about it. You have some serious lyrics listening from Trinidad. Shout out Trinidad. Put your people on. I would love some more people out of Trinidad to be on. Put your peoples on. That's love. Real story. I was minding my business in my backyard. He came up screaming when I was fasting on shrooms. Nigga, wasn't even nobody there. You was fasting and on shrooms? Nobody came and asked you that, bro. Nobody came and asked McDonald's. You welcome. Don't even worry, bro. You probably looking for his ass too, waiting on him. Shotgun loaded. One day they will return. No, nigga. Microdose again. He'll be back. He'll be back. We love you, Faise. Well, I love you. He'll be back. That nigga talking about I was fasting on shrooms. I had smoked a blunt, and here come this nigga. Oh, it didn't come nothing. Nigga, that was your inner child. Talking about some young nigga ran up to me and said, where my McDonald's? Nigga, you was hungry. You had the munchies. You know you don't mix no damn weed, shrooms, and fasting. You on 3 different highs, nigga. Nigga said I had popped me a pill. I ain't gonna hold you. Nigga had a conversation with his younger self. What crazy is you was sitting in the wrong spot. That nigga didn't run up to you. That was you running up to your mama. That nigga traveled back in time and said, what the fuck? Where my McDonald's? That was you, nigga, waiting on her to put the bag down on the counter. Did I get a toy? That nigga. You know how niggas look at they blunt? That nigga looked at his stomach and said, what the fuck am I? I need to eat some shit. Preferably McDonald's. Hell yeah, the nigga was on 3 different highs. Tomorrow some nigga ran up to him. You filed a police report, didn't you? Confused the shit out them niggas. Yeah, he had locks. He had a scar over his right eye. He had on a hat. They looking at this nigga describing it. This nigga done damn near robbed himself. They played along. We gonna catch him. They just walk around the front, come in the back, say, you're under arrest. Freeze. They got to do something. They got to make this shit make sense. They got to file this stuff. Freeze! You had the right to remain. You got to be filed. I think he had on 2 left shoes. and look down at that nigga shoes. Say, this nigga geeking. Shit. He didn't start running. He thought he was running. That nigga moonwalked in their direction. In his mind, he was getting away though. Y'all better stay out there damn shrooms. That nigga said, yeah. That nigga said, he ain't gonna catch me. He ain't gonna catch me. I'm telling you, y'all better stay out those damn shrooms. Stop fucking around. That nigga moonwalk right into their cuffs. They say, what the fuck? This shit easy. He ain't even moonwalk. I'm lying. That nigga started. He went to another move. That nigga said, nigga said, freeze. What the fuck wrong with this nigga ass, boy? Told him, hey, ain't shit funny. Get in the car. That nigga lean. Oh, God, he lean. Shit, boy. She told me her name was Billie Jean, but it wasn't, nigga. It was you. Wasn't nobody even out here. Smooth criminal, oh God. Shit, y'all better stop playing with these fucking shrooms and shit. Alright, y'all. I'm finna get the fucking body. About to get up out of here, man. Till next time. When y'all come next time, have your questions. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to it. That was a good live. We broke a lot of stuff down, built a lot of stuff up. Spiritual warfare, you know what it is now. You should have an idea at least. You see what I'm saying? Psychic self-defense, protect your mind, your brain. Don't let everybody breathe on you. You wouldn't let everybody just walk up on you, just don't let niggas do that on this phone. You see what I'm saying? Don't let nobody do it on the phone. You with me? All right. Peace to the Lamb. It's truly wonderful.